You're tuned into the RAINCLOUD Defense Briefing, where we deliver concise 3-minute interviews featuring members of RAINCLOUD Defense. Today, we're speaking with Alexandre Dufresne. Alexandre is a founder and CEO of Conglomera Astrogravitics, and is joining us from Montreal in Canada. Alexandre, it's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Emmanuel, and thank you for having me here today.
Could you provide a brief overview of your professional journey?
Yes, sir. So I spent 2 decades professionally. The first one was in the telecom industry. I was a system designer deploying cell phone networks in Canada. And through this experience, I learned how to have system design thinking as part of my ways of working. And the second decade was used in consulting. So I touched on many things like business intelligence, digital transformation, artificial intelligence, and other topics across multiple industries. And there I got a much broader view of how things work in different sectors of the economy, the different technologies of each of those sectors. And that exposure really enriched my thinking as well. And this was all preparatory for me for this venture now.
Could you tell us more about this venture, about Conglomera Astrogravitics?
Yes.
Its solution and technologies?
So it's deep tech, frontier tech. It's a massive disrupting technology. It brings about solid state artificial gravity, where you can deploy modules in space for stations, ships on the surface of moons or other planets. And it can emulate gravity, Earth-like gravity, and it completely solves the issues around health problems that people experience in space. And so it's a massive disruptor that's going to force a rethink of the strategic doctrine in space once we deploy the capability. And it's scalable. It's there to serve the space economy at scale, and we project that it can change the economic outlook in space from being like a $2 trillion thing to maybe over 100 trillion. So it's like the equivalent of a new Earth's worth of GDP that this can unlock for mankind, for the free world to use. And of course, it's got civilian applications, but clearly also military ones, because instead of just having unmanned systems in space, this would force a rethink where we can have a permanent presence, a sovereign presence in the cis-lunar area and beyond. The opportunity here, and we view this like as being a positive disruptor that will tilt mankind towards a more like a Star Trek future than a Mad Max one. So that's the vision.
Okay, and what is your next milestone?
Our next milestone right now, we're setting up our teams for the board of directors, the executive team, and the technical team for our lab. Once we have the lab and the talent in place, then we will do a big sprint. We call it internally the New Manhattan Project. We're gonna do a prototype. We're gonna go from TRL 2 to TRL 6 within 12 months. And in NASA terms, TRL means technology readiness level. So from applied concept to a working prototype here on Earth. We hope to get a stunt person to walk on a ceiling to create that kind of Sputnik moment where people will be forced to turn head and say, whoa, what just happened? What's going on here? And because it's going to signal a new era in human mobility in space.
Wow, fascinating. So for those seeking to further this discussion, and I'm sure there would be a lot of people wanted to do so, you can connect with Alexandre directly on RAINCLOUD Defense. And if you're not a member yet, to become part of RAINCLOUD Defense and join the 5,700 plus experts and professionals, please request your invitation at raindefense.ai. Thanks a lot, Alexandre.
Thank you, Emmanuel.